Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Atiba Shira binti Badarudin. So I will start the presentation first for group 10. So we choose sexual harassment at the workplace as our topic for today. So firstly, what is sexual harassment at the workplace? The first point is sexual harassment is defined in Employment Act 1955, which we call EA 1955, as any unwanted conduct of a sexual nature, whether verbal, non-verbal, visual, gestural, or physical, directed at a person which is offensive or humiliating, or is a threat to his well-being arising out of in the course of the employment. Next is sexual harassment is discriminatory pattern of behavior that creates a hostile work environment based on a protected class. It may involve verbal abuse, abuse of power, sexual quid pro quo, and assault such as unwanted groping. Next point is sexual harassment is persistent unwanted sexual advances, verbal abuse, and or demand for sexual favors. Behaviors become illegal when enduring harassment as a condition of continued employment and creates a hostile or intimidating environment. If an employer has more than a handful of employees, it is likely harassment will be a problem.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I'm Husna Kilamita Hashim. So my part on uh, group assignments of the sexual harassment at the workplace is the fact and the cases proven at the court, which is taking case between Muhammad Rizwan and Abdul Razak versus Asma Haji Muhammad Noor, which is a cause defamation label of plaintiff accused of sexual harassment at the workplace, which is led to negligence, nervous shock, and sexual harassment, verbal harassment under code of practice under prevention and eradications of sexual harassment in the workplace on 1999. Sorry, not 1999 code of practice, which is the cases lead to the decision made by court, which is the court has dismissed the plaintiff appeal with cost of 20,000 to the defendant. So hopefully this case will be a guidance and will be example to person who those face the same thing, facing a sexual harassment in the workplace to protect yourself, to guide yourself, you know, and prevent yourself from other party to take advantage on themselves. That's all from me. Thank you. Have a nice day. Assalamualaikum.
Hello, Assalamualaikum to the lecturer and to the fellows, all my friends. Okay, for the next slide, will be presented by me. My name is Muhammad Shukri bin Azalan, 2017540993. The next slide for our group, why it can happen in the workplace. Why this sexual harassment can occur in our workplace. Okay, let's look for the next slide. Okay, first of the point, a lack of the knowledge. We can see here, point one, there are no practice in school and also in the university. If we observe our nowadays, the teachers only teaching the student only in the theories, while there are no physical classes. Next slide, our laws are too weak. We can see the laws enforcement in Malaysia are weak where the punishment can be paid. Like example, if A caught because of the sexual harassment and the police bring this to the court, the A if have the money, so A can pay for the judgment. Then there will no charge to the ink. Okay, the next slide. Our nowadays are lack of environment supportive. Certain workplaces are toxic. Bosses only think about the growth of business, not welfare of the employees. We can see in our workplace today, the bosses always think and always meeting about their business so that their business will grow rapidly success. But for the welfare of the employees, they not think enough. That is why sexual harassment can occur in the workplace. Lastly but not least, the point are less religion practices. Employees today not practice about the religion on certain they take in their daily life. Like example, smoking are prohibited, but certain still smoke. If we relate for our in our point, such sexual harassment can occur because they they did not practice about the religion in their daily life. So that is why they can do the sexual harassment. Okay, that's all for my slide. Thank you for watching.
Hello, hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Amalina binti Abu Hassan. I'm the next presenter for Group 10. So today I'm going to explain and present about our topic sexual harassment. My part will be how sexual harassment can be happen at the workplace. I'm going to explain and present also showing you guys the example of the sexual harassment at the workplace. Sexual harassment does not have to be sexual. From only jokes, it can turn out to be something that can be called as a sexual harassment. It will be the verbal or non-verbal things that happen to you or your colleagues at the workplace. Now I'm going to show you guys an example of sexual harassment that can be happen to you guys. The first example that can be shown that it is the sexual harassment is making unwanted or inappropriate touching of any body part, clothing, face, or hair, including hugging, kissing, or assault. Second example that can show it is a sexual harassment, which is making inappropriate comments about someone's body or appearance. Sometimes it sounds like a joke, but it can turn out to be a sexual harassment. The third example that always or familiarly happen to our workplace, which is making jokes using obscene language or that have sexual connotations, or else calling someone with flirty way like sayang, I like your body, let's get married. So the last example that can show it is the behavior that could be sexual harassment, which is receiving sex calling or messages from anyone at your workplace. That's all from me. Thank you so much.
So I will present about the implication of sexual harassment. Firstly, it will impact the mental and health of the employee because the driving factors of this mental and physical toll were empathy to the victim, concern about a hostile workplace, and even fears of becoming the next target of harassment. Her mental health will be disturbed because they become uncomfortable and phobia. Next is it will impact the employee productivity, where when in the toxic workplace will lead to reduced employee productivity because and when an employee has experienced an incident of sexual harassment or worse a steady campaign of harassment, their output will be affected. The next, it will if impact on hiring and retention because the toxic environment and toxic group or workplace will give a bad impact to the employee and they cannot perform and they choose to not to stay and on the company because they need to be happy on every day at their workplace. Last point is will impact the company or a brand where when consumers witness or are made aware of incivility directed and at an employee within the workplace, these potential customers can develop negative generalizations which will make them less likely to purchase from the firm. Employees that have experienced an unfair workplace will even actively discourage the customers from purchasing or services from their employer.
How organizations manage the sexual harassment? First, companies must take steps to educate and inform staff about these types of behavior that will not be tolerated in the workplace. And then make sure the employees and management understand what sexual harassment is. Okay, this is to ensure that the staff members understand that and behavior that are inappropriate and then enlist employees in ensuring a harassment-free workplace by engage the employees to be a part of the solution to harassment and then keep sexual harassment prevention training positive by letting employees know that they actually play their roles and providing them with training and resources and take swift and decisive action as issue arise by commitment to holding people accountable for incident of sexual harassment. Thank you.